you are Anthony Irizarry. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did. Everybody's wrong, so it's like when I correct anybody, it's not like I'm being an ass or anything. It's just I'm so used to it at this point.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I got a nice easy name, Beecher. If you screw that one up, it's like, what's the matter with you,
Yeah,
bud?
got an easy one.
So where did you start playing lacrosse?
I started originally in Middletown, New York. That's where I live now. I'm originally from New York City. I was born in Brooklyn, raised in the Bronx, and then for middle school, I moved up to Middletown, New York, which is it's like an hour and 10 minutes north of the Bronx. So it's still like near New York City area. But I pretty much started playing my freshman year in high school.
That's sweet. I started in 10th grade, so
Say that again.
I started in 10th grade. It's something like you could see the difference with guys that have had the stick in their hand. Like obviously you've been out of 10th or freshman year for a little while now, but like you could see you're catching up to that years of having a stick in your hand.
Yeah, so I'm 28 right now. So I think I've been playing for I think like 13, 14 years at the moment. But yeah, Middletown's Section 9, New York. It's like probably one of the worst sections for high school lacrosse. So it's like nobody here really starts at an early age like they do maybe in like a Syracuse or a Long Island area or Maryland or something like that. So it's it's definitely been an experience, but I feel like it's cool and it's unique because I didn't start playing at 5, 6 years old like everybody else.
Yeah, it definitely it gives you a different perspective. What did you play before then? Were you a baseball player running or you just kind of
Uh, I grew up in New York City just playing everything kind of. So basketball, handball, football, baseball, and I also swam like at the boys club of New York or whatever. So kind of a little bit of everything. So that's why when I found lacrosse, it was like I remember my friend like my freshman year, he's like, "Oh, come play lacrosse, come try out for lacrosse," and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. And he's like, "Oh, it's like football. You could just hit people." So I was like, all right, I'm interested, and then I went, and it's just like this cool game that's just a bunch of sports wrapped up in one. So
well,
kind
you
of called.
can yeah, you can see that you've got a very good like cardio base, even though you're not one of those small skinny guys, but like you're
Yeah,
built well and you have the cardio. I love watching your highlights because you can run down and just blow through two guys like as they try to press in, but you're
yeah,
also fast enough that if it's just a foot race, you're towards the faster end of the foot race guys, especially if you're going against a heavier defenseman.
yeah. I like I like to think I'm a little quick these days. Still, I was definitely a lot quicker when I was younger, but I think now it's just more about like knowing when to use the quickness and stuff like that. So using it at the right time is key at this point.
Yeah. And well, I mean, speed change is like really underrated. Watching some of your highlights there, you'll see you're really good at like you lull the defender into thinking like, oh, this is how fast I run, and then you'll throw a cut or whatever, or even sometimes just going in that same line, turn the jets on, and you're
Yeah,
gone.
yeah. You just gotta be unpredictable, man. That's it. It's really all it comes down to. Mix of cardio and just IQ and just medium speed. This helps when you're out there.
Well, your IQ, that's the first highlight I clipped in that game is you're just in the right spot. You keep your stick in the passing lane, and when he goes to throw it, you just put it up so he didn't even see it, and you caught it, and you beat everybody going down the other way and scored
Yeah,
the first goal of the game. That was pretty cool.
yeah. I like to think usually if it's like 1-on-1 and I have the ball, I'm gonna run a little faster, try and get to the goal. But I think he was trying to dump the ball in the corner because the shot clock was winding down. But he didn't really like throw it in the corner. He looked like he was just trying to throw it towards the goal, and my reaction just took over, and I just went the other way with it.
Yeah, I. It actually looks like there's a guy that sneaks in behind you. Here, let me see if I can share this with you.
All
I hope I can. We're gonna find out in about 3 seconds.
right.
Uh, oh no, that wasn't it. Close the whiteboard. Screen share. Oh, perfect.
First started the call, I was able to see what you were showing me.
Yeah, because this guy in the white jersey is he on your team?
Yeah. So I,
Oh,
I
okay. I thought he was trying to dump it to him.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to dump it in front of the goal somewhere because if say there's like 5 seconds left, sometimes they'll just take a shitty shot, hit the goalie, and they'll get a reset off of it. So that wasn't really a shot. He was just trying to toss it somewhere in front of the goal. I don't know if he was trying to throw it to a teammate or something, but just reaction took over. And I don't even play defense. I usually play offense. I like getting caught up on defense so I could give some shit back to the defenders that are hitting me the whole time.
Well, that was my next question because I noticed when you played for the Eels, I've watched enough of your games to know that you're generally an offensive player, but playing for the Redmen, a lot of these highlights are starting, you're on the back and just flying out in transition.
Yeah. Well, with the Redmen over last night, we started without. I mean, we started with probably 17, 18 guys, and then probably a day in, we just dropped down to like 13 guys. So anytime where you don't have that many, anytime where you have like 13 or under, everybody's gonna kind of be playing everything. So it's
Yeah.
like I like it like that though, because it's not just like I like to think of myself like I'm not just a goal scorer, but I take interest in in other stuff as well.
So being from down Middletown's what, just outside of Newburgh?
Yeah, Newburgh's 20 minutes away.
Okay. So how did you end up playing for the Salt City Eels?
I have a bunch of friends on the team. The guys who run the team are Clay and Croy. They're from Onondaga, and I used to go to school up in Auburn back in the day when they first built the pavilion there at Onondaga. So I met them when I first started playing, and I've just been trying to get on with them probably for like 2 3 years, and just never really committed to it because obviously it's a on game days you're driving up. It's what is it, 2 hours and 45 minutes one way, so it's a long day for sure.
And it's not an easy drive in the winter or like in the spring when it's terrible out. And you
Yeah,
have, yeah,
not the same.
you have multiple teams in the area too. It always blows my mind because like guys connect with certain people and they like to play. Like you drive past at least two teams, maybe three teams to go to play for the Salt City Eels.
Yeah, yeah. But I think about it when it comes to box lacrosse, obviously it's bigger in North America, on the Native American reservations and in Canada. So I think about it like the more upstate I go, the better experience as far as box lacrosse I'm gonna get. Like down here, there's good players, but everybody's kind of new. So I kind of I don't want to just be a great player down here. I want to be a great player, and a great where box isn't new.
Yeah.
So pretty much I'm challenging myself, and it's tough with the 3 hour commute, but I think it's worth it. So
I mean, I think it is. I've seen your team play. I've seen several, teams play. And
yeah,
the Eels, when you guys have everybody and you're on point, like that championship game, right down to I mean, that was close. And the whole game, like you guys came out on fire and then
yeah,
kind of let them back into it and let them back into it. And they're like a super emotional team.
yeah.
So yeah, you guys kind of got in their heads and were really getting after it. And then it just kind of like, ah, and it
Yeah,
stinks because you still played great for the second half. It just wasn't good enough for.
yeah, to win it. I think obviously the Utica Yeti, they're a good group of guys. I think I wouldn't say maybe they're better than us, but they're definitely up there with us in skill wise, right? But I think what they had is they're probably a more organized group, like outside of lacrosse. So they probably all hang out, all go to the bar and stuff like that, and just I feel like that comes in play in big games. The chemistry and just trusting each other. As far as with the Eels, I mean, I don't know what they really did after games, but I drove home, so it's a little different. I think everybody on the Yeti team is kind of like from within that area, right?
They've got a few travelers, but for a large part, like the core of their team, their captains and everything are within Rome,
Yeah,
Whitesboro. Yeah.
right. So I think that game was obviously tough. It was just like a back and forth game, and I think in the long run they were a better team chemistry, and that's what got them there. I think.
Yeah, they're a real mix of, so they've got a lot of field players, but they've got Neil Powlis teaching them. So
Yeah,
yeah, that kind of helps.
good guy to be teaching you some stuff.
Yeah, if you're going to learn from anybody, I'm supposed to be talking to him next week. Actually, I'm super stoked.
Yeah.
So how did you get into box to begin with? You just saw it and said, I'm going?
Um, well, I didn't get introduced to it in Middletown because obviously it wasn't around then. But when I was at Cayuga Community College in Auburn. It's probably there in 2013, 2014, and they built the pavilion at Onondaga, one of the Nation House. I forget the Nation House or the pavilions,
Yeah.
whatever. They had just built that in 2014 or so, and I had met a friend, an older guy, who was like, "Oh, you should come out and play box lacrosse." I didn't know what it was. I just seen it as like indoor at the time, and pretty much they would do free pickup. It's like a 30-minute drive. They would do free pickup every Thursday for about 3 hours, and it'd just be everybody from Onondaga, and they would let whoever wanted to come and play. So that's kind of how I got into it. But I don't know if I could say that was when I first started playing, because that was when I was just out there like just running, like, oh, go run past people and score a goal. But
Yeah.
I think it was 2018 or 2019, I started playing in the IBLA with the Morristown Rally. That was when like I actually started. So ever since then, probably 4 years ago, I've been playing every summer. So a
So
little
you
bit of
played. So you
yeah.
played with that Morristown team, and then where
I
did it
played with
go?
the town team, and then after that, just kind of moving around with my Brooklyn Dodgers guys. But started with the Morristown team, and then we went to the Hudson Valley Snappers, and then after that, we went to A45 Silver Foxes, and then after that became like they kind of dropped out of the IBLA, and they had like their own like 4-team box box league around here, and that's when I played with like the New York City Pigeons or whatever. So, but yeah, I just did a ever since like I've been playing on Morristown with like the Dodgers, like the Brooklyn Dodgers, same group of like maybe 7 or 8 of us. So anytime they were like, "Oh, we're gonna move, we're gonna start a new team," we all just kind of was like, "All right, let's do it." We all know each other. We're all cool. That chemistry. So
Yeah. So why didn't you play with them down in Laxney?
I try and when I go upstate, just play with the best
Stay.
team on.
Yeah.
Nothing against them. They are really good still, but I just want to keep playing on the most experienced teams that I can when it really comes down to it. So I think they know that, and they don't have a problem with it at all.
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron. And I mean, if you're trying to make it into the PBLA, what was the combine like?
Combine was really cool. Combine was just a Friday, and then the 2 days after that was like the tryout. But the combine was like really well put together. It was like really professional, like kind of like an NFL combine. So we did about 10 different things that they I'm having a blank that they trained us on. They wanted to see how we would do. So like let's see what we had. We had like a 20-yard dash. We had like just a bunch of different stuff. Shot speed, seated medicine ball toss. We had this one drill where you line up, run 5 yards, pick up a ball, you look up, you got two different lights. You either got to go right or left. Just a lot of reaction stuff. You know what I mean? So that was like my first combine that I ever been to. So it was really interesting to be a part of it for sure.
Yeah, that's got to be awesome. And I mean, how long have you been trying to play essentially pro lacrosse?
Years. I
Yeah. So
like the MLL back in the day before field. I always wanted to. I don't really care. I don't really care about the money at this point. I just want to. If you could give me $100 a game, I'll be happy.
yeah, just cover the cost to get there, right?
Yeah, yeah, gas and maybe somewhere to stay for the night.
Yeah. I'm really hoping it takes off because like it's hard to believe you watch these games with the Eel and all the other teams in the NABLL. They're pro level players. And I mean every team has a guy that should be in camp or something like that. And then to be able to have Lax Night where you're out there with the NLL players and you see who's really competitive and who's not, it's surprising how many guys are so close to that level, but there's only what 212 spots.
Yeah, I think it's just like probably not enough teams. You know what I mean? I mean, the NLL is always expanding and stuff, but there's just like the amount of players that are really good compared to that these teams can pick up is just it's kind of night and day. But yeah, the PBLA I think is going to do really good. When they had us out, it was like everything was really professional, from breakfast to dinner, from athletic trainers coming warming us up for 20 minutes before every game and stuff like that. And I think the GM and the owner are also, they used to they used to own they used to run the NLL back in the day before it was the NLL.
The
So I
MSL or something, I think. Yeah.
MIBLL, I think,
Yeah.
kind of like when they used to wear all the 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 football tights and stuff.
Yeah.
That's really brutal.
Now they seem to be going into like smaller cities to get more of that like farm feel. I mean, how cool was Elmira? Because I've heard from some of the guys that like everybody in the town was super stoked you guys were there and it was just awesome.
Yeah, everybody was super stoked. That's why I think them going into small markets is pretty smart, because like they're not, you go into a big market, you're competing with other pro sports and stuff like that. So I think going into small markets is smart, because they're just I feel like the fans are just way more into it. You know what I mean? Even if they don't know lacrosse, like they might have like, I think Elmira has like minor league hockey, so they're probably like, you probably got all these people that aren't even hockey fans that are super into it, and then you bring lacrosse and they're just like, they're just all for it. Let me get all the merch. I'm coming to every game, and so I think the small market's very smart.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think like when I was growing up, we had the Adirondack Red Wings and it was crazy. Like everybody had season tickets, everybody was going, everybody cared. And
Was that
yeah,
hockey?
yeah,
Yeah. See, so it's like, especially I feel like when you bring pro sports to a place that has never had it really, it's just that much more greater. It's like if Middletown had a pro hockey team. Hockey's not even big here, but I think a lot of people would rally around it, because it's like, you don't have to travel all the way to the city to get, pro athlete pro athletes playing every day.
yeah. It's well, and it's not just that. I mean, anything is better live. I
Yeah,
don't I don't care what it is you get. Like, yeah, we can get some pretty good cameras in the odd and some of these places are sweet, but it, you don't really get a feel of how fast you guys are moving out there. Or like one thing I saw at Laxney that was a huge difference between Laxney and like the NABLL is everybody on those teams for the most part, for most of those teams, was
yeah,
as good as the top two or three guys on like the NABLL teams. As far as like the passing, it was just so crisp, so fast. You're seeing the guys that can really quick stick it coming from, 90 miles an hour to their stick on the far post.
yeah. I think Lasna is like, it's known as one of the biggest box lacrosse tournaments like in the states. So I think with it being upstate, it just attracts like, the best box lacrosse that there really is. So it's last night is just a great time. I've been going for about 4 years now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was pumped when they called me to stream. It was like one of those Mayday calls. They called me Monday night at like 8:30. They were like, "Hey, what are you doing this week?" What? Yeah,
The game, obviously lacrosse in general is really really unique and fun to play. But I think box lacrosse is just 10 times more exciting, like to play and to watch probably than field. Because field, I used to play attack in field, so like if we don't got a good face-off guy, I'm just standing there the whole time, freezing my neck off, waiting for the ball to come back. In box, it's like you play offense, you get on, it's like you're right in the action. Or you play defense, you run in and you're right in the action. There's no, I think for the fan too, it's easier to follow, because it's quicker action rather than like moving the ball around 40 seconds and then getting a dodge. You
yeah.
know, I think
It
it's just exciting.
Well, and you take sports that people are used to watching and you kind of add the elements to it. Like box lacrosse offense has some similarities to basketball, which a lot of people watch, especially with that pick and roll. I mean, you guys do it so much where you see that in the movement, and your defensive position and everything is so similar to like a hockey setup. I think it kind
Right.
of makes it easier for everybody to understand. And like you said, I think it's hands down better to watch.
Yeah. I think the reason, obviously, it has a lot of different sports in it, but I think the reason why it's so similar to basketball, they say that the guy who invented basketball, I don't know his name, but Canadian guy, he was a box lacrosse player back in the day. So that's where the pick and rolls come from. But obviously in basketball you got to be set, but in box you could move and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's why I also enjoy playing defense as well, because I used to play a lot of pickup a lot of pickup basketball in the city, and I take a lot of pride in it. So it's like it's literally the same thing in box lacrosse, you know. Now you just give me a stick and I can and I could hit you legally. I was like, I'm all for it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that is huge for guys. Like you said, if you don't learn, I find like you do playing. Yes, you were playing basketball, but learning that body positioning helps you, like you said, everywhere in the floor. And it's really better to have these athletes that are playing all the different sports. So that way your muscles kind of develop. You get an athlete like you who's relatively strong, but not too big. So he's not fast. Like you are strong enough to push through the play, but also fast enough. That's why I said, like, you guys, I love watching you. You got a couple guys on your team. You guys fly, and it's like magic when you guys are in tune with each other.
Yeah, yeah. So it's when it comes down to, you know, the weight and stuff like that, I think about it like it's not what good is it being all big and bulky if you can't move effectively in that body of yours, you know. So I definitely I coach at Middletown High School and I preach that all the time, you know, play football, wrestle, everything, you know, because that's I think the kid that plays multiple sports, like even if lacrosse is the main sport and he plays multiple sports compared to the kid that just plays lacrosse, he's probably going to go farther than that kid because it's just an athlete is more important, you know.
Yeah, you don't get the overuse injuries as much because you strengthen your smaller, tendons and all the little muscles and everybody. Yeah, and plus it's just so much better. They don't get burned out because you're playing, it's a little different.
Right, for sure.
Different group of friends, different so you guys have a draft on what day is it? The 22nd?
Yeah, it's the 22nd. I'm not really sure about the details. I'm sure it'll be live streamed or something. Still waiting to hear back from somebody at this point.
That's got to be tough.
Yeah, I think I did pretty well. I think I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I think I'll make it. I'll get drafted. So
I, I heard from
super.
a couple of the guys. Yeah, I heard from a couple guys out there and they said you played good out there. You were on point.
Yeah, the level of play was really good, and they're actually trying to do. I think I watched one of your interviews with Murph or Phil where they were talking about the two way. They're trying to really bring that back, like the old school. You know, back in the day, as far as field lacrosse, it was play offense. If you were a midi, you play offense and defense, and then you get off. And that's kind of like what they're trying to go back to, which was definitely interesting the first day.
Yeah. Well, watching you in Laxney though, it didn't look like you would have much of a problem adapting to that.
Yeah. Well, it was because it was the first day, and we all came in like, you know, I'm 2 months prior to the PBLA. I'm just working on all my offensive stuff, and then we get there, and they're like, "Yeah, everybody's gonna play defense like every shift," and I'm like, "All right, this is gonna it's gonna take some time to get used to." But I think the second day, everybody was more acquainted to it, so it's pretty fun altogether.
So do you think you're going to play it like a hockey system where you'll have like two defensive guys that stay up in offense and then you kind of have like you, even though yes, you're playing offense and defense, but you'll have you like working towards the top with other guys, like a
I
three
think
and two?
5 guys out. So when they send you say 5 guys go out for the face off and you lose the face off, everybody just plays defense, and then you play a shift of offense and then you get off. So I feel like it's not going to really come down to like, oh, who's got the best offense, who's got the best defense, but kind of who's got the best two-way guys, you know. I think that's what'll come down to it.
Yeah, who the best box lacrosse player is, not the guy who can just stand there because he's only good if somebody can feed him the ball up. That makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm very interested in what they're doing over there for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was so pumped when I heard that because it means guys like you, and I believe I've also heard they're going to run the same season as the NLL, which means you guys should still be allowed to play for your NABLL teams and any other team. It looks like you play for like, I don't know, 15, 1600 teams a summer.
Yeah, I was playing in the Can-Am League, which is like the majority Native American league. It's like right before the NABLL starts up. But yeah, they're going to be doing it during the same time as NLL, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's got to be awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
I can't.
yeah. Um, so real quick, I only got a couple minutes left before Zoom's going to hang up on me. I didn't realize we had a time limit, but uh, what do you? So you coach down there? Do you run like outside clinics too and stuff, or?
I coach at Middletown High School for the varsity program. I just do like individual like lessons and stuff like that here and there. It's kind of hard down here because it's like, you know, people need to know you. It's you got to get your name out there, and it's not as easy to get going as it is would be in like a Syracuse area, Long Island area, where everywhere you turn there's a lacrosse kid, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I hear that. We run a pickup program that is just completely free so we can get some kids to play. We started out with about 20 this year. We'll see where it goes.
yeah, where's that based out of?
Glens Falls is yeah, just pickup box.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
the best. Do it. I wish I was playing box lacrosse back in like high school. It'd be night and day to now.
Yeah, and that's we're trying to because of guys like you that are out there playing, so I can do it the streaming and the kids love that. And that's, now I've started to pick up league because I didn't know anything about it. And I was like, I don't really want to teach the kids the wrong things. But now I'm just coaching the little kids. I know enough to, get them along the way, fundamentals.
Even if they don't, yeah, even if they're not even being taught 100% like the rules, just the fact that they're out there in the condensed space, you know, that's gonna pay off when it comes to field for sure.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I like doing it. Now, what obviously trying to do this. Now, what do you do for like a full-time job? Is that something you think you're going to be able to like how is that balance going to work playing with the PBLA or do we not know?
I work a full time job at like Middletown High School. I'm a sub at the moment, thinking about going back to school to become a gym teacher. I'm not sure at the moment, but I always think about it like anytime I would go get a job, it's like I play lacrosse. So it's like you don't if you need me on the weekends, then I probably can't work here. All right.
Yeah.
So it's either I could give you 5 solid days during the week. And if you're okay with me being a lacrosse player on the weekend, then that's that. You know, that usually has always been my motto ever since I was like 21. That's always seemed like it's more important, you know?
Yeah, and I'm sure they respect you just being upfront and honest with them and just being like, "Hey, this is important to me." And then school teacher jobs, like you said, that lines up because the games are always afternoons and weekends.
Yep. So that was always my thing. I'll work for you, but you gotta let me go do my thing on the weekend. So I hope
Yeah,
it's Monday to Friday.
definitely. All right, man. Well, it's been really nice getting to talk to you. And if you guys ever have anything that you might want streamed, worst I could say is I can't make it. But
I'll keep you in mind, man. Thank you. I appreciate you doing this and giving me the platform to just get up here and talk. Hopefully we could do it again.
oh, definitely. Yeah, I got to get Dempsey. There's so many guys from your team too that I want to talk to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of guys.
All right. Love it. Thanks, man.
Have a good one. Thank you.